The moon is in Capricorn today, and so we are thinking about nurturing and nourishment for resilience, for strength, for building that place of self-confidence and self-reliance, and how we can focus on our strategy and our plan as we move forward. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro Vibe for Wednesday, August 6th. And so we've got the moon continuing in Capricorn today. And as I was talking about yesterday, with the idea of Capricorn being nurturing, right? It's that nurturing energy of the disciplinarian, right? Of that paternal kind, it doesn't have to be male, it doesn't have to be a father, but it's like it's that energy of guidance and authority. And so we can be that guidance and authority for ourselves, remembering that there is a bigger wisdom and that when we get ourselves back on track where we know we need to be, we can be stronger. So, this is the kind of moon, the kind of mood of the day where we want to think about what strengthens us, where our foundations are, and not indulging in emotions. I mean, if you have them, that's fine, and there's nothing wrong with emotions. But sometimes some moon signs are about emotions, the water signs especially, and it's really important during those water moons to feel what we feel. But during the earth moons, we want to attend to the physical world. And so, what do our bodies need? What do our souls need from the physical world that can nourish and nurture us at those deeper levels? So, it's not about that soft, comforting energy so much as it is about what makes us stronger. And sometimes we have to move through those challenges and things that feel hard because that pushes us to get creative, to learn how to trust ourselves more deeply, right? Because when we figure things out, that builds self-trust. Oh, I've had that kind of problem before and I figured it out. And so I can rely on myself to solve problems. And so that's how we want to think about this Capricorn energy. Again, it's a great time for organizing and planning and giving yourself those foundations that are going to provide support structures to you as you move forward. So, getting clear about your goals, right? Capricorn loves to work toward a goal. And so, getting clear about your goals, and then what is your plan to get there? And of course, not everything always goes according to plan, but it is nice to have a plan and a structure to fall back on when you get lost or confused. You can remind yourself, oh, wait, I have a plan. I'm going to go back and remind myself of what I wanted to do or where I wanted to be at this point in the process. So it could be a project, it could be a goal, it could be something that is important to you that you want to learn how to achieve, right? Or work toward achieving. So there's lots of possibilities, but thinking about the resilience of Capricorn. Capricorn is that energy that puts the roots down deep into the earth so that we can be strong above the ground, right? We can grow, we can thrive, we can blossom, we can be beautiful and creative and functioning and resilient in because we have those deep roots, because we have that strength of knowing who we are and knowing where how to tap into our resources, just like plants do in the soil. So, also today we have Mars going into Libra, and that happens exactly at 4:23 p.m. Pacific time. So, yesterday I talked quite a bit about that shift and what it looks like as Mars completes its time in Virgo at the 29th degree of Virgo, having some awareness surface potentially of what's wrong, what's incomplete, what needs improving, what needs repairing or maintenance or perfecting. And so it's that discerning critical eye of Virgo and Mars and what we need to take action on that allows us to make those improvements to make something more perfect or better. And then with that shift of Mars into Libra, we move into the energy of the warrior planet being in the sign of compromise, of partnership, of working together and getting along. And so Mars energy, right? It's about, I don't care about you. I just need to do what I need to do, and we'll just let the chips fall wherever they fall. But Mars in Libra says that we need to do that in the direction of working together, getting along, creating functioning relationships, because those functioning relationships allow us more capacity to create the outcomes we want. And so when we get attached to our own little worldview or our own little version about how we think things are or should be, sometimes we can do that to the exclusion of other perspectives, of why someone might feel or think the way they do, that maybe we're not paying as much attention to because because we've got our own perspective. But Mars in Libra reminds us that we are better together. And when we do that work of bringing everybody into the fold, however that looks. Like, I'm not saying you have to be perfect or that there's one way to do that, but it's looking for those little shifts, those little healing moments where you can get on the same page with another person. That is where the magic is. And so whether that is a total stranger that you figure out how to do something with or make something work, maybe you're talking to that customer service person that normally you would want to yell at, and you take a deep breath and you think, okay, maybe there's a way for this to work if I can slow down and get out of my own attachment to being right and open to the possible solutions, or open to what the way I need to come across for this person to hear me and work with me. So that's actually a great example. I think many of us can relate to that experience. And certainly many of us also relate to the experience of being in relationship and how that other person doesn't always behave the way we think they should, right? Whether that's an intimate relationship or a work relationship or a friend relationship, right? Any time you are in a cooperation with another person. And so getting outside of your own perspective, your own viewpoint long enough to ask, how am I going to get what I want by working together and maybe making some compromises, or maybe letting go of some of the places I'm attached to work together, and be more effective in getting the outcomes I want, because ultimately that is what Mars wants. It might be risk taking, it might be bold, it might be daring and direct and spontaneous and courageous. All of those things describe Mars, but Mars also wants to be effective. And so it does all of those things because it wants to win, right? It wants to get somewhere. It has that competitive feeling. And sometimes, in order to win, we have to adapt. So that is what the Mars in Libra energy might feel like. And as I shared yesterday, highly recommend yesterday's video for more on what that might look like this weekend with the opposition of Saturn of Mars to Saturn and Neptune and the grand trine with Pluto and Uranus. So I'll probably talk more about that as we head into the weekend as well. But thank you for being here. I'm Marina Orms. You can book a reading with me for the time being. My prices are the same as they have been for quite a while, and then they're going to be going up in the fall here coming up soon. So it's a great time to go ahead and book some time with me if you've been thinking about that. And thank you for subscribing and being here. And if you're interested in more from me, definitely go check out my member site. The link is in the description for this video. Thanks for being here, and I will see you next time with more astrology for unshakable self-care. Bye for now.